Hey there, welcome back. Alright, in this module, we're going to learn about the third step of 5S, which is sweep, also sometimes referred to as shine. Specifically, by the end of this module, you'll know exactly what sweep is, and for the record, it's much more than simply spring cleaning once a year. And you'll also know why sweep is so important, and finally, you'll know how to go about this third step of 5S. Okay, well, following with our traditions, let's start off with a definition of sweep. Well, formally defined, in the context of 5S, sweep means to clean in such a way as to identify and remove the sources of contamination. Obviously, this definition is much more than many make this step out to be. You see, a common misunderstanding about 5S is that it's about sweeping and cleaning up. It's not. In fact, it's actually about not cleaning. Now stay with me for a bit here. So here's how it works. First, we do an initial physical sweep to make everything clean by picking up trash, sweeping the floors clean, and wiping down machines and equipment. Then, we do a visual sweep each day and notice where things are getting dirty again. And during these daily sweeps, we write down the reasons why the mess occurred in the first place and take action to eliminate the root causes. You see, that's a lot better use of our time removing the sources of dirt than it is to clean the oily floor under the leaky machine for the 10th time. In fact, many times defects or machine breakdowns occur because people get used to things being dirty and process failures result from contamination. So, really, all we're doing during the sweep step is cleaning with the sole purpose of determining why things are dirty in the first place, since the best cleaning is to not clean at all. Ultimately, the true mantra of this third step is, in fact, to sweep is to not clean. But we'll talk more about this later in the module. Now, another important concept is that cleaning means inspection. Now, if you've ever hand washed or waxed a car, you know there's no better way to find all the little dings and dents on your car since you're touching it and looking at it far more closely than you normally would. Well, the exact same thing occurs in our factories and offices and hospitals when cleaning things with a true sense of purpose. Alright, so that's what sweep is. Now, let's talk about why it's so important. First of all, organizations that struggle with the sweep or shine step often suffer from poor morale since simple things like sunlight never make it through the grime on the windows. And studies have shown that the environment people live and work in has a direct impact on how they behave. Some even go so far as to say, live like an animal, behave like an animal. Another benefit of sweep is that it improves safety by reducing things like slips and falls, along with a myriad of other potential incidents. Sweeping also helps companies save money since cleaning up things like oil leaks leads to the repair of equipment that created the mess, which ultimately prevents breakdowns. In fact, research has shown again and again that dirt and contamination are a chief reason for machine breakdowns, as are things like fluid leaks, air leaks, and dirty air filters. Okay, so that's why we sweep. Now, let's get to the meat of the module and talk about how to actually go about this step. Well, the first thing that we must do is always clean with meaning. In other words, think about how to eliminate the cause of the dirt altogether. Now, it would seem in this picture, our friend definitely has some thinking to do, wouldn't you say? And as we clean with meaning, there are 4 key points we must stay laser focused on. They are to first restore things to good conditions. So if your workplace is a complete disaster, we will need to get busy and clean it up. The second step is to find the sources of filth. So, for example, if the printer in your office is leaking ink, don't just clean it up. Find out why it's leaking, which leads us directly to the third step, which is to eliminate the root causes of the issue altogether. So, in the case of the printer, this may mean bringing in the printer repairman or fixing the problem ourselves. Finally, the last point calls us to reduce the need to clean at all. Well, very rarely will we ever get to the point to where there's no cleaning ever needed. But this doesn't mean that we shouldn't aim for this ideal state by staying focused on finding the sources of filth and eliminating them. Now then, during the sweep step of 5S, we do want to clean everything inside and out. And one of the most common questions we get asked is how clean is clean enough? Well, a good rule of thumb is to keep cleaning until you know why it gets dirty. Then fix the cause. Alright, well, let's wrap this module up with some specific steps you can follow while sweeping the workplace. Well, the first step is to assign zones of responsibility. Everyone should be assigned a zone within the area and made responsible for keeping it in order. Key considerations should be the time it takes to do the daily maintenance and the impact the member has with respect to keeping the area clean. In other words, everyone should clean their own room. The second step is to set standards to sweep. Just because many of the daily cleaning operations don't actually add value to our product or service doesn't mean that we can't create standard work for them. By doing this, we can find ways to improve or eliminate the tasks we're doing. The third step is to keep to the clock. Now, if anyone has kids, they know that if you allow them all day to clean their rooms, that's exactly how long it'll take. Therefore, be sure to determine and indicate the allowed time to perform the daily activity with regards to 5S. Now, the fourth step is to start at the same time. This makes it easy to see if proper work assignments have been made with regards to daily maintenance. And if they're not, adjustments can be made. Finally, the fifth step, and actually more of a guideline, is to clean while the mess is small, while then finding and fixing the source of the issue and then keeping it clean. And that's sweep. Now, back to our bookshelf. As I mentioned in the last module, I actually focused on the sweep step at the same time I did the straighten step. And many times that you'll find this is the case when you do 5S. But one of the things I also did was attempt to find out why the Coke stains and crumbs were there in the first place. And after thinking about it, I came to realize that I simply had no discipline and standards in place when it came to what I put on the bookshelf. And as timing would have it, this is exactly what we're going to talk about in the next two modules. So, we'll speak to you soon.